Thank you for coming. Coach Haynes today is joined by senior wide receiver Chris Humphrey and sophomore safety, which we just found out has won Mid-American Conference East Division Defensive Player of the Week, Nate Holly.
Congratulations.
Coach.
Again, tough loss. Not how we wanted to start the season, but you love our guys fight. We love how they played the game. Never gave up and kept getting after it. We just couldn't get it, at the end. And again, like I said on Saturday, I give Ohio credit. They played hard, they played tough, and played a good football game. But we licked our wounds yesterday. We don't have very long. It doesn't get very easy. For us, South Alabama is a very tough football team, very athletic. Got after us last year, so we have to make sure that we do a good job in preparing for them this week, and that's where we start today.
When it comes to preparation for this week's game, what do you want to focus on mainly in this week that you want to correct from the OU game?
Well, I think, when you look at the little things, the fundamentals, playing lower, defensively having better eye control and things like that we can get better at. Offensively, you're talking about blocking, sustaining blocks, making plays. Those are the things that still comes down to and I say it a lot, but it's the truth, still comes down to the fundamentals of football. And every game comes down to 5 or 6 plays that if you had a little bit better eye control, if you had a little bit better pad level, you may have a different result. So those are the things that we got to continue to make sure that we concentrate on, focus on.
How did it look overall after watching the game on film? Just kind of...
It's never as bad as you think it is, never as good as you think it is. And that's how the film always, looks. So, again, when you look at the things that we can correct, they're correctable. And we just got to make sure that we do a good job coaching-wise on coaching the little fine-tunes of football, during the week. And it's not about the calls that you make on defense. It's not about the plays that you call. It's about the fine-tunes of doing the little things right. And if we got to cut half of what we do in half so we can do a lot of the little things better, that's what we'll do.
Offensively, obviously, you guys had a hard time running. When you looked at that, what was kind of the causes there?
The bottom line is we didn't play very well up front, and I think those guys will be the first ones to tell you that we just didn't play very well up front, and we got to play better up front for us to be able to run the football because, in this day and age, and we all know, even with all the spread team, the better spread teams still run the football. So, bottom line, we got to play better up front.
That being said, how much do you miss Trey? Trey on Durham not being
I don't know. I mean, I like our backs. I like, Nick Holly, Murray, and Hibbler. If we get Trayon back, we get him back. I still don't know. He's still questionable, for this week. But I like the guys we got. But it all starts up front, and we got to make sure that we do a better job up front.
Off-season, big emphasis on the strength. And they were the main emphasis of that emphasis. Was that, what did you see?
No, I don't think that was, the point of not, being strong enough. Now, Ohio was good up front, also too, so I don't want to take away, credit from them. They were pretty good up front. That was a strength of really their defense, but it's just comes back to that fundamental of pad level. I don't have to be very good if you play high, and those are the things that we got to make sure that we do a better job on is playing a little bit lower.
I was just wondering if you could talk about how Nate played and what did he do particularly well in the game?
Well, I think anytime you can make 18 tackles and He's still short of 22, which I know he's trying to get, because there's a particular person that got 22 tackles in one game that he's trying to get and beat. But, you know, he plays with a lot of passion. He plays with a lot of energy. He plays smart, you know, football, but he puts the time and the effort into it, too. He's always in there watching film, and it shows, you know, on the tape that he has an idea of what's going on out there. So it's really pleasing to see him playing so well just because of the time and the effort he puts into it.
You're gonna tell me who's got 22?
Man, sitting at my right.
Did you feel like you were particularly on, or, I mean, did anything seem to be clicking really well, or what do you think happened?
I don't know. I think the opportunity just presented itself. They ran the ball often, and, you know, most people know that I'm more of a run safety, I guess. That's no secret that my pass game needs a lot of work, but you know, I'm working on that, and I'll continue to work on that until, you know, I get it up to par or where it needs to be. So I don't know if it was anything I didn't feel on, or, you know, I just felt prepared and I felt excited and, I don't know, ready to go. So.
I think you study more than most of your teammates, or?
I don't think it has, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of guys on our defense, you know, there's a select group of guys particularly that study a lot and spend a lot of time. You know, I'm probably not the guy that studies the most, but, you know, I'm most certainly not the least. So, you know, not really.
Just talk about, you know, last 2 years ago, the championship season, you weren't here obviously, but the defense turned teams over just tremendous amounts. Last year, not so much. I know that's been an emphasis all camp, just to generate turnovers and talk about you get 4 on 4 straight possessions.
Yeah. Well, it was big emphasis in camp, like you said. Every day we had to get 3, or our bet was, you know, 50 push-ups. And the bet kept increasing, you know, going 60, 65. Well, then when the coaches had to do the push-ups, they realized how tough it really was to do 60 consecutive, 50 consecutive push-ups, especially after a long day of practice. So then we just cut it down to 50 every time. And, you know, it ended up being at the point where the offense was doing a great job and not turning the ball over. So, you know, our chests were getting bigger and bigger every day, and the 50 became easier, I thought. But it was a big emphasis in camp, and I think that played a big role in the game. And just, you know, when we said, hey, we need some turnovers, that camp-like mentality came out, and we all started pulling, ripping, getting our head on the ball. You know, so I think that played a big role in it.
First time you did 50, did you make it?
Struggled a little bit. There were some guys that were really struggling, but the first 50 was tough, especially during camp when you're tired and sore, and it was tough.
What's the most you ever got up to, you know? Like, I mean, when you said you kept increasing it, do you remember what the high was?
Like 65, 70, something up there. And then the coaches finally had to do it because we finally got our 3 turnovers.
That's
And
when the rule changed.
they realized, yeah, it wasn't that fun.
Because we didn't get through 50. We did 50, but I think they
Couple
cut us off, yeah, a couple breaks and everything. So that's when the rule changed.
Nate, do you remember the particular fumbles you forced? Was it something where you're targeting the ball right away, or is it just kind of go for the tackle and then rip?
Well, with 2 of them, I just hit the guy, and I think I got lucky, and the ball popped out, put my head on the ball. I don't think there's too much thinking going on during the play in that aspect of where I'm going to put my head. When I hit him, I just kind of hit him. The one in particular, when Big John had him wrapped up and was on his back, he had the ball real out loose, and I just reached in and took it. So, I mean, that was just, you know, I saw the ball, and in that aspect, I just ripped it out. So, you know, that was it.
Can you tell you're that much stronger now, though, just from doing all those push-ups?
Maybe not from the push-ups, but definitely from the off season.
Really?
Yeah, I think we had a great off season. So, you know, put on some weight, put on some muscle. I think all our guys have, and I think it's shown.
Chris, can you tell that, especially on defense, that those guys are looks?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely looking a lot better, a lot stronger. And when he was talking about during camp about the bet with the 3 turnovers and stuff, I noticed it a lot. You know, after the first week of camp or so, when they start doing their push-ups, that they were getting a lot better at stripping the ball and getting it out and forcing turnovers. And then we had to make an emphasis on the offense to take care of the football. So we've been getting a lot better at that. But yeah, it showed at OU that they had 4 turnovers, so they've been, working at it real hard.
You didn't have to, now, when, the whole team didn't have to do it, it was just the
No,
defense, right?
no, that was just the defense.
What were you thinking when you were watching them the first time doing the 50?
I think I saw one guy cry. I don't know. No, it looked. During camp, your mind kind of sizzles from the heat and just going at it 24/7. But yeah, I was happy I wasn't over there.
I think it shows, though, offensively.
Yeah, we didn't turn the ball
We
over.
didn't turn the ball over.
Mhm.
And I think when you go back to, again, that 2012, the success of that season, I believe we got 36 or 38, and you only turned the ball over 12 times. So, again, when you look at the positives of that game, if we don't get those 4 turnovers and we're out there for, I think it's a total of, 2 plays, almost. So you just sit there and you emphasize those things, and now we got to emphasize some other things a little bit more and a little bit better so we can play better.
Do you think can you make that your signature again? Do you think so?
Turnovers on the
Yeah.
defense? I believe so. I think that's something that we'll continue to work, and, like Coach said, our offense did a great job not turning the ball over, and I think that had a lot to do with camp and us ripping and pulling, and I think we'll continue having success with that. I think our defense has that type mentality where we'll keep trying to get turnovers, and, with the coaches reminding of us, of course, but, I think that could be a good positive trend that we may have throughout the season.
Chris, just talk about, your first game as a senior. You had a real nice game.
Yes, it felt good. Obviously, the result didn't, but it's just one of my coaches from high school texted me before the game, and it was just kind of a text about regret. What you don't do out there, you'll regret forever. So, being a senior, I'm just trying to do everything I can to help my team, help my players, and just do what I can, do my 1/11th for the team to help them win or be successful.
It's a little bit of kind of a frustrating day for you guys as a unit. Seemed like you had some chances to pop a couple and just.
Yeah, we definitely had chances that we missed. Obviously, having 4 turnovers and only capitalizing on one of them definitely hurts, but it's something, after we watch the film, it's something that we notice and that we know what we have to work on now. Obviously, the coach said the little things, pad level, and we have to eliminate pre-snap penalties. It's just stuff that it's little and it's all mental that comes from the player that can be eliminated. It's just focus. We did our preparation, just got to execute.
How much, it's almost like you flip-flop a typical season. You played your league opener, now you got your non-conference opener. Does that, it's kind of a strange thing, obviously, but those little mistakes you make within the league game, unfortunately. But how do you come to the next game now that you're going out of the league?
Like any other game, league game or not, we're still going to prepare the same. It just comes down to the little things and executing that. And, the past is in the past. And we talked about OU during our film, but now they're done with, you can't go back. So we're moving on. There's 11 more games left. Still a lot of ball game to play.
How to look defensively on film?
Again, some good and some bad. There was, again, when you get to 4 turnovers and there were times that they were driving that we stopped them when we were able to get off the field. Those are the good positive things. I think, when you look at, we got to eliminate big plays. You look at that last drive, and they started with 13-9 and 13, and really the 9 was the run that we were in the wrong gap. So you just eliminate, just a mental error and but it's not effort. It's not effort. It has nothing to do with effort. Guys are trying like crazy. We just keep talking about doing your 111th and just doing your job because you get caught up in just trying to make a play. And most of the time when you do that, you're going to screw up. Just do your 111th and things will sit there and happen. So, but those are things that we, definitely can improve on. And then we talked about our, we call it FBI, our football intelligence. They were attacking us in a certain way or they were attacking us in a certain play. Those are things that, you got to make them turn the page. You can't make them keep running the same play over and having success in it or throwing it to one guy and having success with it. So those are the things that we talk about that, that the little things that we can continue to improve on and get better at.
Who kind of stood out defensively other than obviously me?
Well, of course, Nate, I think, John Morgan Cunningham had a pretty solid game, for us. Also, Jonte Byrd played well for us as a nose, and we switching those guys back and forth, in and out to keep those guys fresh. So I think those guys, played a pretty good game, and Jordan was the second leading tackler, I believe, in the game, Italiano. So, but I think as a unit, those guys played, pretty well together as a unit. There's a lot of things again that we can improve. You don't want to give up. I think the number of defenses changed, as far as when you look at total yardage and stuff. And our goal in the rushing is, to hold a guy under 100 yards these days is almost impossible. But you look at 150, it's kind of our benchmark. We gave up 175, which we have to improve on. And 400 is almost 350 to 400 is kind of our benchmark on total defense. So you look at those things are things that you can improve in situations that you get in third down that you can get off the field, you got to get off the field.
I saw Summers got in there a little bit.
Yeah. Matt played special teams for us, and he got in there on defense, and I think he played 2 plays and had 1 tackle. He's a good football player, just one of those throwback football players. He doesn't know what he's doing all the time, but he gives you great effort and he sees ball, go get ball, which is real good at that spot.
What happened on the Melchior's missed field goal?
I think, again, and, I'm not a kicking coach, but, it's almost kind of like a golf swing, I think when you pop your head up and, do those things as you try to watch it, you pull it sometimes. And I think that's kind of, because really when he first hit it, it looked like it was good. And then it kind of just drifted to the right. But I'm sure mechanically, definitely something that he'll sit there and work on, like crazy. And, he's as hard on himself as anyone, is. So I'll kick it again, though, with him. I'll kick it again because I have faith and trust in it.
Punt and kickoff,
he was solid. I mean, he's 44-yard average punt. He changed the field for us like crazy, and all the kickoffs were touchbacks. So, and like I said, it's something that he will improve on, but, if I have that opportunity again, I'll kick it again with him because I'll trust him. I trust him that much that he'll make more of them.
Go ahead.
I know it's been an emotional time, but I'm just wondering for you too, does it feel like maybe now you're ready to, I'm sure your team's closer and all, time to kind of more move on to football, or, I don't know if that will ever happen, but you know what I'm saying?
You never really move on from something like that. It's always in your thoughts. It's always with you. It's something that you can't let affect you, but it's something that will always be with us. For me, I personally feel like it will be with us for the rest of our lives. That was a brother. And it doesn't, like I said, doesn't affect the way you play. It adds a little bit of why you play, or it gives you a perspective of, the game could be over tomorrow, today, It gives you that perspective, so it makes you appreciate life and the stuff that you're going through. is two-a-days really that bad? It's not. We're lucky to be able to do what we do. So do I think it's time to move on? Are we going to move on? It all depends who you are. For me personally, I don't know if the words move on are proper for it. I think Jason will always be with us in our thoughts, our prayers. Every time we strap on the helmet, I feel like we're going to think of 54. So.
Chris, you feel that way too?
Yeah, exactly what he said. But yeah, I never said goodbye to Jason. I said talk to you later. But yeah, he's the second guy I talk to after I talk to God before I go out and play games. So he, up to this point, has done nothing but influence me in a positive way to just give it 100%. Just tomorrow's not promised. Your next play is not promised. So why not just give it everything you have every single play?
Do you feel like it's kind of brought the team, galvanized the team?
Yeah, I do. I mean, that's our brother. So, once he's gone, you got to come together closer and tighter. And even after this game, it's going to even bring us even more closer because we just know that there's players that need to step up. So, we just need to stay tight and stay positive and focused.
Just talk about a little more specifically about South Alabama. What do you see there?
Very good. I think they returned 8 of 11 guys on offense, or 8 of the 11 are seniors. Of their starting 11 that they have listed, 8 of them are seniors, which shows they have a lot of experience. And I think the one is a sophomore, but he played in all 12 games, last year. So they have a lot of experience on that side of the ball. The quarterback is very athletic, big guy. Real big guy. So, he can both run it and throw it. So that always poses a threat when you spread them out and you still got 2 running backs, out there. I think 2 of their receivers are preseason, all Sun Belt. Running backs run hard and physical. So it's going to be a big challenge for our defense. This is going to be one of the better offenses, I think, that we'll face all year as you look at them in their numbers as they go through the season. Defensively, they lost a couple guys up front, which was the strength of their team last year, but, I'm sure they got guys, some War Daddy type guys up front that come in and they put a lot of pressure, though, up front and kind of play man free and try to lock you down, load the box and try to lock you down. So you got to be effective on making plays on the outside just so they can try to loosen up a little bit. But this is going to be a big challenge for us. It's going to be a very big challenge, and, that's what our guys look forward to. So, like I said, this was one of the teams I think last year, in my opinion, that really beat us. I mean, they beat us up, and they played more physical than what we did in that game. So, I think it's going to be a big challenge for us to come in and play physical football.
You kind of talk a little bit about the game last year and how that carries in.
Yeah, obviously they beat us last year pretty bad, but that's just another thing to add to, for me to even push harder to beat them, because I want to pay back. But, yeah, they're a good team. I mean, we played them when I came in my freshman year. They were just starting, but they got some players, man. And I love playing against them. They're competitors. But, there's going to be a scrappy game. It's their first game of the season, so obviously they're going to be fired up. And, it's our home game. And, we can't lose at home. We don't lose at home. So we're going to come fired up. And, it should be fun. But I'm excited to get, hopefully, a little revenge against them.
Is the day after the game a little more painful when you play them? Were they as physical last year?
Yeah, I mean, every D1 college football team is pretty physical. But, yeah, just the way they play. I mean, some of the guys they have are a good size. But I have never really gone into a game and noticed one team being a lot more physical than others. But, yeah, I mean, depending on their coverage, a little more man they like to play. So, yeah, you get a little frisky and kind of scrappy in there. So, yeah.
Anything else? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.